Okay guys, welcome back. I have a lot of experimentation and information to dump on you, so no matter what happens here in terms of how we fare in this game or how interesting the adventuring is, there'll be a lot of information to impart. The first thing I want to do has nothing to do with anything I learned. It has to do with something that occurred to me. We saw an options menu at some point. Where is that? Options, set options. We've been talking about the running through open door. Maybe this is why. Print self during run. Maybe if we what do we gotta do here? Yes or no to set options. Return or enter to move, or minus to move cursor. I'm gonna put return. No. Run through open doors will say yes. How do we make this? Yes. And I do a minus, I guess. I don't know what print self during run means. Let's just try that alone. Will that alone be enough to let us run? Let's just go and experiment with this a bit. We're going to try to, whoops. Mushroom of Restore Constitution, we want that. Let's drop our silly Amulet of Adornment and pick that up. Alright, let's try running to the east. Still no, eh? Still doesn't want to do it, except for at the very end of there. You see that it takes the corner, but nothing else. There must be an option we're overlooking here. Is there another page here? Whoops. Is there another page? Show weights, highlight and notice mineral seams. Well, let's try putting these on. Examine potential corners during running, eh? Let's just try turning these on. Experimentation. And we'll try running south. Nah, still no, eh? Alright, I admit I'm at a loss. I don't know why the run doesn't work for us. I really thought we'd figure something. Oh, there it works, as long as you're not next to a wall, eh? Is there still an option we can turn off? As long as you're not surrounded by two walls, is what it does. What if we turn off the one below that? Come on, how do I do this? Enter. Let's put this to no. Examine potential corners. See if that does a difference. No. Alright, one last try here. Cut known corners. Let's try putting that to no. Whoops. No. Alright, let's try this. Nope. Alright. Apparently we were protected from evil till then, by the way. Alright, we've wasted a bit of time there. I apologize. Bottom line is run still doesn't work for me. Okay. As we continue to explore, I will then tell you the things I learned, because I can't deny I'm getting more and more invested in this game. Whoa, do we know anything about this guy? No, but I'll bet he drains strength, so let's back off a little bit. We don't know how he moves. Okay, let's see if he moves. He must move erratically. It must be what made him back off. So as soon as he backs off once, we'll try PCB to the west. Hell, I'll try it a second time. Not enough to kill it, eh? Come on, one more mana, we can do it again. We lost our concentration. Alright. Alright, let's just try and kill it. I took my strength, I was right about that. Alright, well, live and learn the hard way, I guess. Yeah, I've gotten more and more invested in the game, and it's, I've talked more than once about, whoops, let's not do this yet, let's go rest. Not wanting spoilers, per se. Although in the precise definition of that term, spoilers are obviously impossible, given the game changes every time. It's more like tips. I've been trying to avoid too many tips. The problem I'm realizing is twofold. One, I mean, some of the tips apparently are quite vital to survival. Without them, your odds of making it through are basically null. Which would only mean we're going to play for 50 or 60 hours, and then there'll be one thing that if we'd known a single tip we could have avoided, and because we didn't, we'll stumble into something that kills us, and I'll be sad. And back in the day when when this would have been the only roguelike in town, or one of two, or when there were very few game options, I guess, learning the hard way over and over again, making it to the Balrog, for instance, and finding out the Balrog has some special attack that you didn't know about. I mean, you just would have said, oh well, that sucked, but I'll play again, and next time I'll know that answer. But the truth is, even if we just talk about roguelikes, which obviously are, pardon the pun, but not the only game in town, even if we just talk about that, I have a folder, as I said, full of dozens or hundreds, and there are more all the time, including variants. I mean, there's Morgul as a variant to Moria, and that I want to play eventually, and all the Angband variants, etc. So if I do meet an untimely end, it's unlikely I'll be playing Moria again for a while. That's not to say ever. Obviously, I've played a whole bunch of games in the last few weeks, but I've learned my lessons with my early level characters, the guys who made it to level 20. And I think it would be unfortunate to learn the hard way some terrible answer. I sense the presence of evil. Do you see it? Let's scour this. Where is this thing? There is incidentally a staff here I overlooked. I don't see it. You sense the presence of evil. I do not see where that is. Checking right around me, because often I overlook something directly beside me. I don't see anything. Weird. I'm going to cast Protection from Evil, because we know something around here is going to get me. No, I'm not. I'm going to try again. Alright, I got it that time. That was not the evil thing. This might be. Alright. But, as I was saying, there are things I don't want to learn the hard way. What is the problem here? Drop. There's no room to drop anything here. I got it. Okay. Drop. I'll drop the back sword to take this up, because I can sell it for a good deal of money. So I have been frequenting just online forums, either looking for answers to questions that, to my mind, should be in the manual, or in some cases just looking for tips on how to make sure I don't, die too early. And I learned some stuff. The first thing I learned is actually some of it's stuff we've intuited already. We were talking before about the possibility, when I was getting a good deal in the shop, the temple, I was getting a good deal on the items I was trying to buy and sell. I surmised, well, he's a human and I'm a human. Maybe that's the key component. It turns out apparently that's right. Race really is a factor in terms of how well creatures receive you, or how well shop owners receive you. So that's a pretty impressive thing. I mentioned how impressed I was with it when I first heard of it, or even surmised it rather. So to find out that that's accurate is pretty exciting. So kudos to the designer again for for doing that. The second thing actually comes down to these potions, a potion to cure light wounds here. Again, there are things you just can't really readily learn. Jesus Christ. Okay. Like the fact that those cure spells, cure potions rather, at least the cure critical ones, not only do they cure your health, they restore they conquer blindness and confusion, which is something I think we may have already figured out earlier, but bears repeating that that's the way this game works. There are secondary traits that you may not be aware of. So for that reason, we will probably start stockpiling cure critical wounds potions if we can, and or healing potions, of course, because they will protect us against certain things that we really need protection against. Alright, we're protected from evil here for a minute. Let's sense our invisibility here. C, D. God, I'm really losing my concentration a lot lately. No, don't do things that are presumptuous. Alright, where is he? He's right there. Another thing, for instance, this ghost is attacking me. It's obviously either here or in the wall here. Something I never could have figured out for myself. If it's invisible and you try to attack it while it's embedded in a wall with a melee attack, you cannot hit it. You'll bump into the wall. But if you can see it and it's in a wall, then you're allowed to melee attack it. I didn't know that. There, we killed that thing. Carry a scroll of teleport level. I don't really want that. That would bring us down a level, as far as I know. Also, things that, things like wands and that zap from a distance, or spells that hit from a distance, those you cannot hit a monster in a wall, even if you can see it. So, little weird aspects of the game that are probably more owing to programming limitations than intentional thought, I think. You can't learn except for by looking it up. So there's some information for you that I learned, and hopefully it'll help keep me alive and keep you alive too. Other things I learned. We found a mushroom of unhealth before. And I mentioned the fact that we clearly don't want to put that in our mouths, and that I think is still a reasonable assumption. But apparently, if you throw a mushroom of unhealth at a monster, it does 10 to 120 damage. Now, given we did a lot of experimentations just throwing random objects at monsters, or throwing potions and stuff at monsters before, and they didn't seem to have the effect I had hoped they would. I had hoped that they would, a potion of blindness thrown at a monster would blind the monster, and that didn't seem to be the case, so I gave up on that notion. But apparently in this one case at the very least, unless we were totally wrong in our experimentations, and it's all the cases, but in this one case at least, throwing a mushroom of unhealth at a monster will do damage to it. So, interesting to know, and maybe we should keep those as grenades. What else? Apparently, I'm not 100% sure of this. What did that just say? I hear a door burst open. Apparently, giant green dragonfly, we can deal with that. It's just poisonous. Oh, we got lots of things showing up here. Giant yellow tick, likewise poisonous. Let me finish this off before I continue with this thought process. We are using the right thing, yeah. They're hard to hit, apparently. We're missing a lot. And what are you? Not a problem, but whatever. Alright, done. Okay, back to my thought process. So yeah, apparently, from what I read in one case, you can use a pick or possibly a shovel as well to fill in pits. We've had a few problems where we fell into pits repeatedly because we know they're there and we forget that they're there, and we end up stumbling into them again and again. But apparently you can actually fill them in. You can also disarm them like a trap. Didn't know this, and probably never would have guessed it because it seems somewhat illogical. So, things you learn. Good, we got it. So that's kind of cool to learn. What else? Oh, and that mushroom of unhealth trick will not work on undead, apparently. There's a secondary mold as well that you can throw that does damage, but I don't know what it is. The gentleman referenced it as a hairy mold, but I think the hairy mold is the descriptor applied to the mold in his particular game, and therefore not necessarily reflective of all games. The only other two things I learned. One came as a surprise because I had learned online that paladins have to be human. That's why we were playing a human. Not that I minded, but if we played a half-elf or something, we might have had infravision to help us out. But apparently paladins do not have to be human. There are limitations based on race as to what classes you can play. But I know definitively, again from seeing others online playing, that you can be a half-elf paladin, which would have given us infravision and some other things like various stat changes at the beginning of the game, in exchange for the fact that we would need more experience to level up. So we do have that going for us. What else can I say? The only other thing I learned is has to do with a command called inscribe, If you look here, if you press this symbol, parentheses, the curly parentheses, you can inscribe an object. You give it sort of a name. And although I actually was aware of that, I wasn't sure what the purpose might be. One gentleman was playing the game, and he's talking about the merits of bows, and we experimented with a bow a while back. I thought the bow might be really useful, but I just got frustrated switching from the pick to the bow to the weapon, not necessarily for the way the game worked, but so much as it was just boring and time consuming to always be switching. But his suggestion is you can get a pick or whatever and inscribe it with the number 1, say. Then when you something made us afraid. That makes me nervous, therefore I'm casting protection from evil in case there's something around. There is a wraith or something, probably a forest wight. Let's go take it on while we're protected. A white wraith, that's brand new. Never seen this before. Oh yes, I have. I've killed one of them. It's from Deeper, that's great. Worth 165 experience points, that's alright. Magical casting spells which terrify, can often carry treasure, it can hit to attack, and touch to lower experience. So thank God we are protected from evil. Incidentally, it is native to 1300 feet, which means it's a level 26 monster. And we are level 26, so this is the highest level undead that we can protect ourselves from in this way. Or evil thing we can protect ourselves from in this way. Let's eliminate our fear. There we go. Alright, it's dead. It did drop a bit of rubies, that's about it. Let's rest up. Anyways, you inscribe as an example, the pick with the number 1, and then when you need to, switch weapons via wielding instead of with a Shift X, which was my principal complaint, that it took more key presses. You had to press wield, and then you had to press asterisk to figure out where in your backpack the item was, and then type in the letter for the thing. But if you inscribe it with a given number, then you can just hit wield and that number. So I can put wield 1, and it would instantly switch to the pick, no matter where it is in my backpack. I don't have to worry about the letter. So it would enable us to have multiple, as an example, a pick and a bow at the same time, and still be able to switch quickly. So with that in mind, at some point we probably will pick up a bow. We'll see. Maybe not. I've been doing alright with my Orb of Draining, so I don't know. But whether I use it or not, just to learn more about the game, to me is it's just exciting to learn more and understand the scope of the game. I think with a lot of roguelikes, that's what intrigues me, is what makes this roguelike different, what scope does it have, what can happen in it that can't happen elsewhere, or even that can happen elsewhere. It's just fun to learn the details. Amulet of Wisdom. Are we already wearing such a thing? We are, but what if this one's better? We have no more scrolls of Identify, do we? Nope. But I will drop that scroll of Blessing to pick this up. A, because it's worth a fortune, I'm sure. And B, what if it's like +3 instead of +2? Or better yet, +4. I mean, who the hell knows, right? So good to keep it on hand. Alright, let's try and get to the west here. It looks like there's more to Earth Elemental. Earth Spirit, rather. More to explore over there. So that's the stuff I learned. Also, something I saw mentioned a million times in a million threads is that you should be... I killed him with a shovel. There are certain monsters you should avoid. Dragons apparently are pretty deadly, and specifically something called an AMHD, which is an ancient multi-hued dragon, which is all the colors of the rainbow and therefore has all the breath attacks and all the resistances, etc. Apparently you should just really hightail it away from those. Anything with the title Emperor is also probably worth avoiding, apparently, but we'll see. We'll see how things go. I'm feeling more confident in the game in general. It feels like it is theoretically winnable on these threads I was following. Not following, they were ancient threads from 2010. Side note, one of the people contributing to the thread is a gentleman named Karem, and I've mentioned him before already because he's the inventor or creator of the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which is probably the next game we're going to play. I think I also mentioned that it felt like it was influenced by... Oh, we don't want that. It felt like it was influenced by this game, and apparently it was, because that guy was an avid player of Moria, and probably of Angband as well. Alright, let's rest up. Also do some detection stuff, just to be safe. So yeah, this gentleman in Karem was one of the people contributing. I thought that was very entertaining. Thank you, Karem, for not only inventing Warlock, but for giving me some tips that may help me get through this game as well. And incidentally, he was playing a game and he won. So I'm like, okay, there's another example of a winner of this game. It's not impossible. There's so many naysayers to a lot of roguelikes because they are so challenging. So the average player who sits down to a roguelike, when you read online, they've come to the conclusion that it's not beatable. I've seen other people doing playthroughs of this game, and they start the game by saying it's not beatable. But what I think they really mean is it's an extreme challenge. So I think it is beatable. I may not beat it. I'm not claiming that, but I have hope. And I'm still really enjoying it. Okay, we don't want this, man. That's another guy who got us with the weakness. Run away, Kay. Move erratically, quick. Damn it. Move erratically. He does do so, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. He just coincidentally hasn't. And we're trapped. Unless we portal out. There. It's one way to protect ourselves. We do have to get back to town soon anyway. And one of the reasons is we have to I'm not going this way. We have to restore some stats. Our dexterity got drained. Obviously our strength has been drained twice now. Son of a bitch, where am I going? Let's just go in here in PAG as well, just to make sure, 100% sure there's no way out of here. Sure wish that run key would work. Another thing we can try is I don't think this is going to be good for us, but let's give it a try. Is roguelike commands. Let's put no for a second. Does the numpad still work? It does. Run still doesn't work though. So even if that was going to help us, it didn't help with this one thing. Yeah, I don't know, man. The beetle was in here. Let's see if we can tunnel our way through to it. Whoops, fuck. We succeeded. Alright, he moved erratically, which means I can PCB him from here and back off further. Damn it, I don't know where he went. Shit. Alright, well, we're fucked again. You know what, let's just kill him. PCB. Alright, we got it. That was not a wise move, I know that. I just got frustrated. Sometimes when I get frustrated, I do dumb things. Let's eat rations of food. God damn it, here again? So yeah, it's the stuff I learned. I will try to apply that knowledge as I play, in general. Giant and a Naga up ahead. Rest up. Alright, I'm going to protect myself from evil right now. So we're ready for these things, whatever they are. Damn it. I don't want to waste my time battering down a door when I should be killing a giant. I'm missing more frequently, but I believe that's a function of my lowered strength. Just a Guardian Naga. I don't think they have any abilities other than attacking, as far as I've ever told. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're vicious in their own right, but they're not going to drain our stats, even if they could manage to hit us, which they can't, because of our protection. Also learned that vampires, remember that thing we met, are level 29, so we have to be character level 29 before protection from evil will protect us from them. Jesus, this is taking a while. Let's PCB it. There, that solved that. I don't want any of that. Okay, how are we doing for the level? We're almost done on this level. I can't really easily tell. I guess I can shift around with this, can't I? If there's anywhere to go, otherwise, yeah, there is to the east. Let's head east, and we'll look over there. When we're done exploring this level, I think we're going to portal ourselves back to town. Sell off. That'll be another video, mind you, but we will portal back there during this video to sell off our stuff. And hopefully, you know, whoops, buy stuff that will breeds explosively. Let's kill it quickly. Alright. Buy stuff that will restore our stats as well. And maybe that +3 bar chainmail if we're lucky enough to have it still be there. But not till we're done the level. A wooden mold. You see, we found that wooden mushroom a while back, and I remember thinking to myself, damn, didn't we find that and figure out what it was before? But apparently I was thinking of the wooden mold, which is an enemy. Worth a good amount of experience, at least a decent amount. Let's keep our distance and kill it. There we go. Some more detections. Ghost over to our right. Good to know. Alright, I'm protected from evil already. I want to make sure that it doesn't suddenly surprise me. Was I using the wrong... God damn it, I've been using the wrong thing. Let's hope this protection doesn't wear out before this thing attacks. Matter of fact, I'm backing off. I'm going to rest again and cast it again. PCE. PCE. I probably shouldn't have done that until I could, I was going to say, till I could sense evil. Sense invisible, rather. And having just wasted 2 separate spells on... Son of a bitch. I think that's my constitution down. Maybe not. Maybe that's poison. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's wait this out. PCA. No. Let's rest until we have enough. What is that, by the way? I need 15 mana before I can cast that. Poison's lasting a while. And I lost my concentration. Okay, we're back, though. Let's rest. Cure Confusion. Minor cures. I don't want either of those right now. Again, we might be done. Let's just do a quick tour around with a W key. Nowhere to go here. Or up here. Yeah, that's the level. Alright, let's oh, I get a little bit to explore there. Let's just really quickly, I can obviously see that there is something to explore here. Just a few last minor things. We will check them out. Just in the interest of completion. Fuck. I stumbled onto that trap that I was fully aware was there and just did it anyway. I'm not I'm having a weird day, actually. I was at the store trying to buy stuff. I was dropping my wallet and getting confused. It's not an age thing. It's just a... I mean, it might be an age thing, but I think it's mostly just a I'm tired thing. One of those days. Alright. I'm going to rest here, and we're going to go back to town. I didn't need to rest, I guess. Whoops, not where. Read. Word of recall back to town. I'm going to save it as soon as I get there. In the next episode, we will start by selling stuff, identifying stuff, buying stuff. We'll come back down, explore 1,300 feet again. Then we'll climb back up to 1,250 because we do have to search that level well to find all the raised stat potions. Apparently, that's the best place to find them. I'm sure you can find them elsewhere as well, but for a while we'll spend some time there. We're also only 3,500-ish. 17 away from leveling up, as far as I can tell. All right. Have a good one, guys. Happy Moria-ing.